So we've just fit your garments. We might have just seen your garments for the first time, or we might be seeing them for a second or third time, depending on where we are in the overall cycle. What happens next? Well, we all take a deep breath and we exhale. We congratulate everyone to say, wow, these protos looked really great. Or we say the opposite. Maybe the factory wasn't paying so close attention to our directions. But all of those things are normal and they're reasonable and customary, and we expect that stuff. We typically set your expectations to ground level, knowing that there's going to be some flubs that come through, so that when you see your first samples, there's not a high level of disappointment. With that being said, we've just fit the garments. What happens now? We now have to take the time to go through every single style. We have to recap every single last lick of notes that we talked about. We have to update the tech packs. We have to remeasure and respec out the garments and adjust the measurements for the factory to take corrective measures to go into the next round of samples. We might have to update the fabric classifications because maybe that corduroy didn't work so well in that top, and we had to change it from, say, 8 wale to 14 wale because the weight was a little too compromising. Maybe the snaps were a little too heavy for that collar piece and it was weighing it down, and that's not what the designer had envisioned. So this is where we kind of go back into the stew and we re-season it a little bit. We change the temperature, we adjust the taste of it, and then we hand it all back to the factory. We then have to communicate all those comments to the factory. It could happen several different ways. Whether we're working domestically, we could be working in person. We could hand off all of our comments, go point by point by point, or we could nicely wrap it up in a Dropbox file and send it overseas, and then arrange a late night Skype meeting with our overseas partners, depending on what part of the world they're located. Either way, the process for post-fitting prep typically takes about a week and a half, depending on how many styles are involved. And then the turnaround time to get into your next round of fit samples can typically range about 2 weeks. That's all contingent on whether fabric and trims and materials are available for the factory to jump into doing their cut and sew.